Okay, my dear Greg Saunders.
Gregory.
Eagle looking great. You're go.
And we're rolling, Gregory.
Greg Saunders.
Wow. Hey, great.
Show us the skills that have made you a media darling.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome, 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 welcome to the Saturday Morning Stateline Show. Well, you know, finding out that you have the same birthday as someone makes you like them for no reason. I'm Greg. He's Tom. It's your Saturday Morning Stateline Show on this first day of July, the year 2023, the latest it has ever been
in the history of mankind.
And happy birthday to me. It's the birthday show. Woo!
Oh, is it your birthday today?
For the first time since 2017, our show falls on my birthday. 6 years ago,
birthday, buddy.
We did a Saturday Morning Stateline Show on WROK. Our guest was Sue Lewandowski from the Ethnic Heritage Museum.
Okay.
And we also had, of course, Joanne was there, and it was a wonderful day. And since then, my birthday's always been either a day or two before, a day or two after a Saturday. But here we are. Yay, Saturday. It's
the first time hearing of it, but I should have known that July 1st. That's right. I remember that. So funny thing about birthdays, I share a birthday with Riley O'Neill.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. We're both, I hope he doesn't mind me telling, September 29th. And one day, it was on a random Monday or Tuesday, and I'm walking by him in the hall, and I said, "Hey, happy birthday." And he goes, "Well, thanks, Tom." And then he turns around, he goes, "Oh, happy birthday to you too." Because then it dawned on him, it's my birthday as well. Because he knew that. We knew that. So every year when I would see him, same thing, happy birthday. If it fell during the weekend, we were working that day. So that was kind of cool.
Here's a little something I showed you before the show. This happened yesterday at the Stockholm Inn. Riley and Joe did their show live from Stockholm Inn, and I took a photo of Priscilla taking a photo. I like taking photos of people taking photos. It's just something I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's not creepy at all.
That's not creepy at all. But there's Priscilla taking a photo of the guys early in the morning. I was having breakfast yesterday with Gloria Cadilla, who's Rock Valley College board trustee, and she was the head of the Salsa Business Network for years and worked for the Park District and did all kinds of different things. And we had some other stuff we wanted to talk about yesterday. So we had a chance to have breakfast together and saw the boys do their show, which was pretty cool. So kudos to Stockholm Inn for having them out yesterday. In all honesty, I listened to the show pretty much from the start till about when I got there at about, 7:00 and listened a little bit while I was waiting for Gloria to show up. But once Gloria showed up and we started our conversation, I really didn't listen much to the show. Gloria had a lot to talk about. So we were close enough that we could kind of keep an eye on what they were doing, but far enough that we really couldn't hear. They had their favorite alderman, Chad. Chad was on with them yesterday.
Can you go back to that picture? I'm kind of curious about something.
I can go back to this picture. Share screen.
What I'm wondering, and maybe you can answer it because you were there, who set up the remote? I don't see speakers.
Oh, no, they didn't really put speakers out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there wasn't any speakers out as far as to monitor for the people that were there.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, if there was going to be monitor. I love the setting. I love the background and everything.
Yeah, no, it's nice setup. Looked really good. They had a good time there yesterday. So
it looks like there's something right on Joe's left shoulder. That looks like that
box.
Yeah.
It was just a box. It was just the stuff that they had some of their equipment in.
Okay. All right.
But it wasn't a speaker. Yeah, they didn't have any speakers.
Because I remember when I was remote teching, I did quite a few. I remember setting up a speaker. I used to set up speakers, but maybe that was like if I did a ZOK or an Eagle or a Q98 remote. I don't know about the ROK remotes. But I think, yeah, I think I did. I know I did. So
Right.
things have changed, and they don't even do a hardwire
it's-
setup anymore. It's all off
through the internet.
and
Don't have to throw up
Bluetooth
an
and-
antenna anymore in the parking lot, which we used to do back in the day. That was always a big deal. But hey, before we get too far, we do have a big number of the week this week. So let's get to, you know what? Before I get to that, I should probably make sure I actually have it set on the screen, because I've become notorious for not changing on the screen what it is. All right, now I think it's ready. Big number time. It's a brand new race to 10, and our current race to 10 now has Tom and Joanne tied at a score of 1 apiece. And our big number of the week this week is 1.2 billion.
That's a
big number of the week,
right
1.2 billion. The answer is diet or drinking. Diet or drinking, and we'll give you the answer before the end of the show. I got a bunch of shout outs this week. We have no guests, by the way, this week. There are no guests on the show. It's
okay. Good. We can rant and rave and talk sports and everything. I sent you my. Mine.
Before I switch my screen, like I was going to do, there's a couple things I wanted to show off really quick. My dad and I share something that's kind of, I don't think it's that unique, but it's something that we share. His birthday and my birthday are very, very near holidays. My dad's is right before Christmas. So I know for, a long, long time, his birthday gifts and Christmas gifts were often the same gift. He's gypped out of a gift every year.
Happy Christmas.
And my
Day,
birthday is right by Father's Day and 4th of July, which obviously 4th of July, you don't get gifts, but Father's Day you do. So oftentimes my Father's Day gift and my birthday gift are combined, and I'm perfectly happy with that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Thankful for my kids who think enough of me to actually, get me something once in a while. One of the things I got Father's Day / birthday is this book called Dad, I Want to Hear Your Story. Look at this. Look at how cool this thing is. It looks like a cassette tape. And in this book, it's almost like a baby book for dads. So when you have a new baby and you start putting in all the special things about the baby, what? Yeah, first steps, stuff like that. This book is stuff like, how old were you when you started to walk? How old were your parents when you were born? What's your favorite childhood memory? What was the song on the top of the Billboard charts the year that you were born? It's 90 pages of stuff. It's promptings for me to write stories about my childhood, my life. Describe what your room looked like when you were growing up. Was it messy? Was it clean? Did you have paintings or posters on the walls? What were the main colors of that room? Do you like coffee? How do you like coffee? What was, all this stuff, and teenage years, work and career. Tell us about your parents and your grandparents. Dad, tell us about your siblings, blah, blah, blah. It's really kind of this is something else. So very fun. I don't know.
Where did they get that?
I don't know. Hear Your Story Books by Jeffrey Mason, a father's guided journal to share his life and his love. It's made in the USA, and the print on the back says Moni, Illinois, 18th of June, 2023. Figure that one out.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm not sure if this was something that was bought. I'm assuming it was bought offline, maybe something off Amazon or something, but I know.
Everything's bought offline. Technically, I got my car online, but I went and drove it and bought it there, but
it was worth the drive.
How we found it.
And then see if you can read this. This is going to be hard to read, but I got the screen as big as I can make it.
Dad, thanks for being my dad. If I had a different dad, I would punch him in the face and go find you. Your favorite. That's good. I saw something really cute at the Goodwill yesterday, and I didn't buy it because it said, hey, Dad. So I can't remember. It's something very similar to that. It's like, thank you for being my dad. Signed, your favorite son and not loving my sibling as much or something like that. It was really cute, but I am like, oh, I don't know if I can do that.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks for watching us on LinkedIn this morning live, and appreciate that very, very much. It's legit my birthday, by the way. I'm not just saying that and making it up for the fun of it. It legit is my real birthday.
Yeah.
As far as shout outs go this week, I do have a bunch of stuff to shout out this week. So let's get to that. And we'll be coming to you early this morning, Joanne, because we have no guests. So just so you know, shortly we'll be coming to you over there at Pause, since it looks like you're probably about ready to go. Last Saturday after the show, had a few things to do, but one of the things we had, of course, John Berlin on to talk about In Crowd last Saturday. And we mentioned something about Fran's birthday, but what we didn't mention was there was a surprise birthday party for Fran Saturday night. So happy birthday again, Fran. I hope that you were delightfully surprised. The family and friends that showed up had a good time celebrating you. And so very, very fun last Saturday at John and Fran's place. And then last weekend, Rent at Woodstock Opera House closed. It was the closing weekend. So if you didn't get a chance to go out to see it, it's done. You missed a great show. But the good news is,
can you rent it at the video store?
No. So the good news that we got this week too was our daughter that was in Rent the last 3 weeks was asked to audition for something they're doing at Woodstock Opera House in September. It's a oh gosh, what did they call it? Something spectacular. Standard spectacular.
Super spectacular.
It's something to do with like music, old music standards.
Oh.
A review of music. I'm guessing big band era, maybe. I'm not exactly sure, but it's coming up in September. We'll talk about it more as we get closer to it. But she got the role as the lead female vocalist for this production that they're doing for that should be one of those things, especially for us folks who are, especially over the age of 50 that like music from that era. I would imagine that's going to be a really, really fun, popular show.
Here's a cup for you.
50 years of being Mr. Right. Yeah, that's right.
Although you're more than 50, so.
Oh, here we go. It's called The Silver Screen Spectacular, a new musical review at the Woodstock Opera House. It's September 16th and 17th. And so Silver Screen Spectacular. Movie themes, right? Fun stuff. That'll be great.
And your daughter's going to be singing them?
My daughter will be the lead female vocalist in that production that they're doing at Woodstock Opera House. So
very nice.
Very fun. Cinderella has opened at the Starlight Theater. What a wonderful, fun show. It's if you're thinking, it's Cinderella, it's a kid's show. It's kid friendly, but there's enough, shall we say, innuendo to make it adult funny too. Your kids won't get it, but it's not so over the top that you'll be offended either. Let's put it that way.
All right.
Fun comedy stuff. The wicked stepmother is hilarious. Val is just taking the wicked stepmother over the top, and she's got some hilarious lines. And then Jean-Michel is played by the guy who actually was the music director for our show in Footloose, and he's over the top, funny, hilarious too. You got to come see Cinderella. There's shows today at 2 and 8. And then the Starlight season takes a break for a week. So Sunday night is the Rockford Symphony Orchestra spectacular, patriotic spectacular. Sunday night, they'll be playing patriotic music and Americana stuff, and then fireworks over the Starlight Theater there. How fun is that?
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Can you see the fireworks from your seat? Is that what it is?
I don't know that they blow them off high enough that you see them through the roof. I think everyone kind of goes off to the side of the theater to see them.
Okay.
From the parking lot. So, anywho, very cool. That'll be a nice thing to do on Sunday night. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. Weather's a little goofy this morning, isn't it? It's like, is it going to rain? Maybe it's not going to rain. I don't know. but we'll see how that goes.
What time? I'm sorry to interrupt. What time is the Footloose, or I'm sorry, the Cinderella show on Sunday night? Is it 8
There
o'clock?
is no Cinderella show Sunday. It's
okay. I'm
Orchestra.
sorry, Rockford Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah.
Okay.
So today is your last chance to catch Cinderella for this run of the show.
Gotcha.
2
And that's
o'clock
at 8 o'clock. 2 o'clock and 8 o'clock.
And an 8 o'clock evening show. And then the RSO Sunday night patriotic spectacular thing is tomorrow night. Of course, 4th of July falls on Tuesday this year. And then a week from this Wednesday, so July the 10th, the Starlight season starts all over again, all 4 shows. So Footloose reopens on July 10th and runs through Sunday. So you have a Sunday evening opportunity to catch it. That'll be the last show. And then after that, In the Heights comes back for its final run. After that, Oliver comes back for its final run. After that, Cinderella comes back for its final run. And then we talked about Stinky Cheese Man. Stinky Cheese Man. That'll be...
that almost makes you smile just hearing about it, you know?
Right?
The little 12-year-old in me comes out.
Stinky Cheese Man and the Fairly Stupid Tales.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's coming up in August for a 2 or 3 day run so that you can bring your kids to the theater. There's no intermission in that show. It's just a solid, about a 60-minute show to see if your kids like musical theater, you know, get them in there and see what that'll be corny and fun and hilarious too. So, want to give a shout out to Danny DeSario, who was one of the main hosts for a Train Your Brain for Success seminar that I went to this week. I had not been in the auditorium yet at the NIU campus over there on East 8th Street across from Showplace.
Oh, okay.
I've been over there before a number of times, but I don't think I've ever attended anything in the auditorium. And we did that this week, which was a very interesting little Train Your Brain seminar. Didn't have a clue what to expect. And what this guy did with the group of us to kind of put us through some paces of brain work was very interesting. I'm not going to go into it here because it's too hard to describe without pictures. So we'll just let that go for now. But thank you, Danny, for putting that on. That was very cool. I want to give a shout out to Diamond Motors. You're talking about buying a car last weekend. I'm going to be buying a car from them probably this week. I think I'm about done with the old Jeep. 19 years might be enough for the.
What year is it?
My Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm selling is a 2004.
Oh, so is mine. God, I wish I'd have known that. I just spent $200 on a seat, a front seat. I bought one. I bought one from LKQ about a month and a half ago. Turned out it was the wrong year. I don't like the pick your part thing because I don't know what I'm doing with it.
You need a mechanic with you on that stuff.
You do. And I didn't know that a 2007 and a 2004 seat wouldn't work. Turns out it didn't. So I'm stuck with the seat. I'm probably going to throw it on Facebook Marketplace. But anyway, I went to Love's Park Auto yesterday. They're super good people. Okay. And I bought the right seat. I put it in yesterday. It took an hour, if that. Wow. And oh my God, it's wonderful because my seat was so broken. I felt like I was on a roller coaster ride. And it was also a danger because the seat was cockeyed. And if I were to be hit from behind, my neck would have snapped. And
that's
it was
not
very
dangerous at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Dangerous at all.
Life insurance is paid up, so we're good. But anyway, so I did that, and all is right with the world now. But let me have a shout out. I went to Ace Auto Motors in Des Plaines, Illinois. That's where I bought my car.
Okay.
My wonderful Kia Sedona that I sent you. That's where I was last Saturday. In case many of my fans were wondering where I was. Yeah, whatever. But that's where I was. And we had a wonderful experience. A absolutely wonderful experience. The car was as the picture that I saw, and there were like 17 pictures online. They were wonderful pictures because it did the car justice. I looked at that thing and I said, oh my God, really? This isn't a 2023? It looked so clean. And I know detailing does that, but the seats, you can't detail out spots and you can't detail out, wear and tear marks and cuts and rips. You can't, no matter how hard you try. No. And I I looked at these seats going, oh my God, it looks like nobody's ever sat in them. This is a 7-passenger van. You don't buy a van if you're just you and your wife. You have kids, you have grandkids. They're going to get them messy. They took care of this car. But anyway, Ace Auto Motors were very, very good. They haggled with us. We got them talked down a little bit, and that was good. We got an extended warranty. That was good. They were so good. So anyway, Ace Auto Motors in Des Plaines. You don't have to drive there, but look them up. Look them up on the and I don't get anything for don't tell me, hey, I'm going there. Can you recommend anything? You'll get $100. Nope. No such rule, no such thing applies. I'm just telling you, I had a very good experience with them. So
no
that's my shout out.
Treated you well. That's the good thing.
Oh, they were so good. It
was in crowd week this week, as I mentioned. In crowd was done the New Milford Commons, and it was icky, sticky, humid on Thursday night, so we didn't do anything outside, but we did hang out at JJ's Deli and Slots, and the American Eagle Insurance was open, and the Strike the Box cigar place. Even if you don't smoke cigars, you got to go visit with Al there and check out his really cool store. It's one of the neatest stores you will ever see. And he has cigars and pipes and pipe tobacco. Just really, really very cool store. As I mentioned already, Stockholm Inn, WR Arcade had their thing yesterday. And after running around doing errands and stuff on Friday, I also picked up some wonderful peanut butter fudge from my mother. My mother-in-law made me peanut butter fudge for my birthday. So I've got this big thing full of peanut butter fudge in the fridge I'm probably not gonna be able to finish it all because there's so much of it. But man, is that good. So thank you, Nana. Thank you, Mama. Appreciate that. Love you very much. And that's for the bulk of my shout outs for the week this week. Tom, anything you want to throw in?
And there's always a million shout outs, but sometimes I forget, and it's just, I got a million things going. But I do have a couple of questions for you regarding the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
I heard something the other day, and I want your take on this. I've been dying to ask you. I was going to do this last week, but everybody says, and I agree 100%, because it's an absolute no-brainer. As Jordan Love goes, so go the Green Bay Packers.
Basically speaking,
if Jordan Love proves to be better than, north of good, better than good, better than average, better than we expected, the Packers are going to have a good season and challenge for that division. Mm-hmm. If he turns out to be, I don't know, whatever, pick a quarterback that kind of flopped, you had high hopes for him, or Ryan Leaf or whatever. Then I think the Packers would, and they did sign him to a fairly good contract. So I think they're kind of committed to him now because
they're very committed. Yes.
Well, because if you're going to dump him, you're going to end up eating a lot of that contract, and that's going to hit you in the salary cap. But anyway, I think if he throws 30 touchdown passes, and I think he can, and no more than 10 interceptions, that's a 3-to-1 ratio. That's pretty doggone good. NFL average is less than that. Yeah. That's really good. 30 and 10 is really good. And for a quote unquote rookie season, first year starting, that's worthy of MVP right there, depending on how far the Packers go. Yeah. I know he couldn't be rookie of the year because he's already a 4th-year player, but and he wouldn't make MVP with those numbers because Patrick Mahomes is going to have 45 and 8 probably. But anyway, I'm just wondering what you think the Packers' record's going to be. Well, the second part of that is, what do you think the Jets' record is going to be? They're in the process of possibly signing Dalvin Cook.
Are they the New York Packers or are they the Green Bay Jets? What are
I have no idea.
They're the New York Packers. That's what they are.
They are pretty much.
Yeah. As far as Green Bay goes, what I expect from Jordan Love, it's a 17-game season. All right, let's start with there. It's a 17-game season. I'm expecting him to be healthy enough to play. Let's just say 15 of those games. Let's be honest about quarterback situation in the NFL. They get hurt and they miss a game or two just about every season, right?
Yeah.
So if he starts 15 games and he throws 20, maybe 22 touchdowns and turns over the ball, throws less than 15 interceptions, their running game, their ground and pound game is going to be the thing this year. I think if Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon stay healthy, they've also drafted, I believe, one running back, if not two. They took two tight ends.
Yeah.
And these tight ends are pass catchers and blockers. They're going to be good. They're going to be really good.
Oh,
They're going to have a really strong offensive line, a really strong, complex run game that's going to challenge every team to play tight on the line. And once they do that, Christian Watson's going to get behind him and Jordan Love's going to throw deep touchdowns every once in a while, but it's going to be a patience game.
I agree 100%. Here's the other thing that I'll say. This is the X factor for me. We don't know how good or how bad Matt LaFleur is as a play caller because he's had prima donna Aaron Rodgers just giving him crap the whole time. And I think the relationship worked out well because Matt LaFleur did more of the giving than Aaron Rodgers. And I think you're going to see Matt LaFleur finally say, it's finally my team. Now I can coach. Now I can teach. Now I can do my thing. Matt LaFleur is a very smart guy and a very good play caller. And you're going to see Jordan Love sit back and go, okay, coach, what do you want me to do? Okay, 32 right tackle trap off. Okay, fine. Let's do it. Let's do it. And the play's going to work. Within time, it's going to take a couple of years. Jordan Love will be able to read the defense and say, okay, I'm going to switch out of this play. Once Matt LaFleur has enough trust in him, he can do that. Every quarterback does it. Peyton Manning's done it. Terry Bradshaw used to do it. And he used to make Chuck Noll mad. But Terry Bradshaw was a 4-time Super Bowl winning quarterback. So what is Chuck Noll going to say? Aaron Rodgers, a little bit of a different story. He would visibly aggravate Matt LaFleur until Matt LaFleur said, okay, fine. I have to change my way of thinking with him. I have to kind of come down to his level. And then the relationship can work. And I think he's going to bring Jordan Love up to his level, and the relationship will work. Jordan Love wants to succeed. And if he's smart enough, and I think he is, he's going to say, well, I'll succeed with a good coach. I'll succeed with a good offensive scheme. I'll succeed with good receivers, a good line, and good running backs, a good running game. So I really do believe, and I know I'm Mr. Optimistic when it comes to all of this stuff, especially my Green Bay Packers. You know, yes. I am Mr. I always am, because I really do believe that they're going to challenge for that division. I think Minnesota's going to lose a little bit. They're not going to win 11 games by one score, like they.
Thank you, Linda.
Yeah. Good morning, Linda. They're not going to win 11 games by one score like they did last year. It's just not going to happen. So their record is not going to be 12-13-4, 13-4 like it was last year. No. It's going to be closer to 11-6,
11-6,
maybe 12-5. And I think Green Bay could be 10-7, maybe 11-6. I get confused with the 17 games.
I think 10-7 is a realistic expectation for the Packers this year.
Have you looked at their schedule? They've got a very, it's not an easy schedule. No NFL team is easy, but they've got a much easier schedule than Minnesota. I think Green Bay is going to win that division. I think Detroit, one last thing about them. The Bears are probably going to be on the bottom, but I think the Bears are improved. But I think Detroit's going to surprise a lot of people in that they're going to lose games they should win. Here's why. Dan Campbell, their quarterback, their coach, I've said this before, he loses games in the last 2 minutes. Of a half, last 2 minutes, because he doesn't know how, he doesn't clock manage well. He just doesn't. He makes serious mistakes, timeout mistakes, play calling mistakes. He gives away more games than he's going to win with his coaching. Now, some aspects of his coaching really works out well for them because they play hard. They like him. He's a good, players coach. So was Buddy Ryan. How did that work out for Buddy Ryan as a head coach? It didn't.
Not great as a head coach.
No, so I'm thinking very seriously that Detroit is not going to make the splash that everybody thinks. Detroit's middle of the road. I think they'll be lucky to go 9-8. They'll be lucky to do that. So
It's
I
gonna be
think right
interesting.
around 500 for Detroit.
With the new, I forget who he brought in, but Dan Campbell brought in, I think, a couple new assistant coaches and stuff. It's if he has someone who time manages and game manages better than him that he allows to do their job, that could be a situation there.
Oh, that is a good point. He brought in a very good offensive coordinator, and it's escaping me.
Yeah. So I don't want to set my expectation that the Packers win the division. My expectation is 10-7, which I think is generous.
Could win that division. It's going to be a tough division. It's going to be all four teams are going to be improved over last year. The biggest thing about Detroit, they're going to be improved in terms of on the field, but coaching is still the problem they face. Minnesota's going to drop off. Green Bay is going to rise up. So I think Green Bay, Minnesota are going to fight it out for the division at right around 10-7, 11-6, and possibly 12-5.
Didn't the Vikings let Dalvin Cook go?
Yeah, they did. Dalvin Cook is now a Jet.
Cook.
That was what I was asking about earlier. He's a Jet now.
Oh, I missed that. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's officially signed, but I think he is signing with the Jets now. The Jets are going to make a splash. So I'm going to amend my earlier comment. By earlier, I mean about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I asked you, who do you think is going to have a better season, the Jets or the Packers? And I said the Packers because I thought the Jets would be 10-7 and Green Bay could go 11-6. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I still think Green Bay can go 11-6. But I think the Jets can too, because they're going to beat up on New England. They are probably going to split with Buffalo, split with Miami, or maybe lose, both, but then maybe beat both on the other. So I think they're probably going to split the division at 3-3. And then the rest of the NFL, look out, because Aaron Rodgers knows who you are. He's got some really, really good receivers, a good running game, a decent line, not a great line, but that defense is phenomenal. And you keep Aaron Rodgers on the field.
Yeah.
If you allow Aaron Rodgers to be on the field, he will burn you. And I also think that Robert Saleh, who is a very good defensive coach, will say, I'm going to let you be you, which is what Bruce Arians did to Tom Brady. And that's why they won a Super Bowl. So I really think the Jets are going to challenge for that division. I don't think they're going to go deep in the playoffs, but I do think they're going to be either a wild card or possibly a division winner. So
we got to get JW on our show again. Jacob Westendorf. He just signed on to be a writer for Sports Illustrated.
Are you serious?
Not a joke. That has happened this week. So kudos to JW.
Wow.
Game On. We've had him on before representing Game On Wisconsin. He was basically the CEO.
Oh, absolutely.
Of Wisconsin. And
I've known Jacob since he was 8 years old. He played football with my son. Yeah. They weren't on the same team. He was on Ken Rock. My son was on Nelson Storm. And
we really
Jake's a cool
enjoyed
kid.
having him on to talk Packer football in the past when he was with Game On Wisconsin. I don't know if he's still in any part. He's got to be some sort, because you're like a co-founder of that whole thing. So he's probably his finger on that still a little bit. But Sports Illustrated. He's a Sports Illustrated writer.
I wonder if he still keeps in contact with Jamal Williams, because they were pretty good friends.
I bet that in some way, shape, or form they do.
Oh, and by the way, Jamal Williams no longer with Detroit. He had 17 touchdowns last year.
I know, they let him go.
You take 17 touchdowns out of that mix.
Did he sign with New Orleans? He went.
Is that who it was? New Orleans? I think it was.
That's my aunt right there. Hey, Aunt Dot. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the birthday greetings. Carlos Danger. I mean, Kurt. Hey, Kurt. Thank you, Kurt. Yeah, you can. 40 sounds good. We'll take 40. I'm all right with it.
35, 40, both.
And in case you missed it earlier, we were talking about Packer stuff, and my dad threw his in there too. Dad's watching from McWanaco, Wisconsin. That's where you go to when you want to go. You go to McWanaco. It's McWanaco.
Yeah, I used to call it Muckawango. I didn't know. I didn't know. And I said, can you tell me where Muckawango is? Well, I can tell you where McWanaco is.
Well,
idiot Illinoisans.
Bring Joanne in here because she's patiently sitting by, all primped and ready at the Humane Society.
Good morning, Joanne.
Good morning.
We got a bunch of shout outs already done.
While I fall asleep, you talk dogs, I wake up.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Wake
right.
back up. Let's
You got such a rough job out there.
let's do our SMS info for the week, shall we? Our SMS info on the Saturday Morning Stateline Show is unofficially brought to you by Altruize. That's right, Altruize. That's the app that enables volunteers to track, verify, and maintain their very own community service data for a lifetime. It's good for college transcripts, too. Altruize, tell a better story, live a better life, all kinds of stuff going on this week. As I mentioned already earlier, it's last chance for this run anyway to catch Cinderella at Starlight Theater, 2:00.
One of my favorite musicals. I love that.
It's so fun and it's funny. It's not straight out of the Cinderella book that you remember as a kid, but it's enough of it that you know it's slightly modified and slightly modernized, but not so much that it makes it hard to for the palate.
It's Rodgers and Hammerstein, right?
Yes, it's Rodgers and Hammerstein. So there's some musical interludes and some parts of the show where you go, oh, I recognize that little tune from Oklahoma. Or that's a similar sounding song from another Rodgers and Hammerstein play. Which one was it? Because they wrote hundreds and if not thousands of songs. So obviously sometimes they're going to sound a little bit familiar, similar.
Cinderella where the slipper doesn't fit.
Yeah,
no, that's right? Not quite it.
Not quite that, but you're on the right.
Not quite.
Yeah,
it.
there's
now we're going to owe money to somebody.
No.
Yeah. No, Rodgers and Hammerstein are both dead, I think. So.
Yeah. Red, White, and Boom is tonight, by the way, at the Rockford Speedway. This is the last season of Rockford Speedway here in Loves Park, and 5:00 racing starts at 7:07. I imagine they're going to do all kinds. Powder, Midnight Ride of Paul Revere, Sportsman, Bandits, high school racing, Powder Puff, sprint cars, and fireworks all tonight at the Rockford Speedway. Something a little less booming is AtwoodCenter Birds of Prey every Saturday from 10 to 2. Free admission there. They feed the birds at 1:00. If you can stomach that, it's something else. AtwoodCenter is on New Milford School Road. It's a beautiful facility, and the park they've got wonderfully mulched trails to hike around through the woods and see other birds and other wildlife. It's just a beautiful park. NorthEndCityMarket continues throughout the summer, all the way through the mid-October, every Saturday from 8:30 to 12:30, right there, just south of the roundabout.
Yeah.
North Main and Auburn Street, across the street from the Norwegian.
About a mile or so, a couple miles down the road from my house.
Not far.
I live down closer to Northtown of Halstead, but it's a quick little jaunt down there. It's cool. I've been down there a couple times in the last month getting my daughter some pickles. Huh. There's a guy and a gal, Kyle and Melissa, I believe their names are. They sell pickles, and my goodness, their homemade pickles, are they good?
Well, Star Spangled Spectacular, as I mentioned, at Rockford Symphony Orchestra at Starlight Theatre is tomorrow night at 8. I believe there are still tickets available. And quite frankly, if you can't get a ticket, but you still want to see some decent fireworks, show up around 9:30 and just park in the parking lot somewhere, and you'll be able to watch the fireworks. See if this opens up nice. There we go. RSO, Star Spangled Spectacular, Sunday, July 2nd. Food trucks from 6 to 8. 8:00 the concert starts, and of course RSO is always wonderful, and then the fireworks following the show. So there you go. That's your stuff that's happening here locally. And as far as other information I wanted to share this week that hopefully will make you think a little bit. Of course, we had the wildfires in Canada giving us all kinds of problems. That was not fun this week. The wildfires and the wind blowing smoke into the U.S. Air quality alerts were effective this week in 20 states. Almost a third of the U.S. population was affected by those fires and the smoke that blew over the U.S., according to the Washington Post. How was your guys' health this week? Did you feel it a little bit?
I had a raspy throat most of the week. It was very, very difficult. And I mean, I don't have any or anything like that, but I was
You probably stayed in all week.
What's that?
Maybe you stayed in all week.
No, I never stay in. I'm out and about every single day.
My vertigo was really bad. And
you too? Wow.
I had my
and someone said it was related to the breathing problems and whatever.
I didn't feel breathing problems as far as my lungs go and stuff like that, but I got the typical dull headache that I get with my spring allergies. If I don't take some sort of allergy meds, for a couple days, and then that dull kind of back of the skull headache is kind of like
I had that same thing. I did, and I don't know if it was related to stress. I don't know if it was.
See, now he's changing his tune.
What?
First you said no problem, now you're changing it.
Joanne, I said I have no problem, except I had a scratchy throat. And then when he reminded me of a headache, I had a headache. Yeah. You okay with that?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyway, did you see the pictures of Chicago?
Oh yeah, the haze.
Oh my goodness.
Something else.
That was awful. It almost looked like it was kind of photoshopped.
Right?
It did. I don't think it was, but it almost looked like that. It was such a heavy haze coming over the top, and it was just amazing.
Yeah, the skyline.
We didn't quite, and I don't think it looked as bad here in Rockford because we don't have tall buildings. But because of the tall buildings, you could see where it actually changed. Well, you can't really see that without the buildings and the trees.
Places around town where you're up on a hill a little bit and you can see for a few miles. It's like, wow, I can usually see very clearly, and those trees now are definitely behind a wall of smoke. It's weird. So hopefully that's done. Hopefully we won't have any more issues with that, but I don't know how. I haven't heard about the containment of the wildfires in Canada, and if those are still burning up bad. I really haven't heard. We'll see how this week goes. Can you remember the last time you were at a gas station where the attendant pumped your gas?
1979.
Well,
literally the very first.
They wash your windshield too.
Way back in the day.
The very first gas station in town that was self-serve was called the Site, SITE gas station up there. It's now an AutoZone or an Advance Auto, whatever it is, up there on Alpine, just as you go up the hill as you're going to State Street and East State. And that was the very first ever self-serve gas station.
Self-service, yeah, okay.
And so that was, so 1979 was it, because after that, I started pumping my own gas. I do not remember doing it after that. I know I've been driving for a year.
I want to say the first time we drove down to visit my daughter's family in Texas, I think we stopped at a place that was full service, and it kind of caught me off guard. So that was like 12 years ago. There's only one full service state left after this week. Oregon lawmakers have overturned their 72-year-old prohibition on pumping your own gas at gas stations. So now there's only one state that requires an attendant fill up your gas tank. And I bet one of you can guess which state that is. And it's on the East Coast. I'll give you that.
Well, I was going to say New York, but that's not true because I was just in New York and we pumped our own gas there. So
the last one is New Jersey.
New Jersey.
The last standing one is in New Jersey, when you go to fill up your gas tank, you can't fill it up. The attendant has to fill it for you.
Okay, so I was in New Jersey in 2004. And I don't remember a gas station attendant filling it. But then again, maybe we didn't buy gas in New Jersey. Maybe we bought it in New York or Philly.
That's got to have something to do with unions, right? The union.
Probably.
There's got to be a union deal. John says he worked at a full station gas station in 1988 in East Dundee. Oh, okay. All right. Were you a good window washer, John, or how'd you do? And thanks, Brenda, for the birthday wishes today. And thanks for watching us on the Facebook stream.
Was it for a while that self-serve was cheaper too?
I think so.
that you could save money if you did self-serve.
I think that was the selling point. You know, it's going to be cheaper now.
You kind of wanted to
of
tip
course
the guy or
it's
gal
not.
too,
And I don't think
tank, right? You wanted to give him a tip. So,
yeah. Coming out on a cold day, it's 12 degrees and the wind is blowing and they're out there shivering and filling your gas. Yeah, of course. Well, hey, if gas is 55 cents a gallon like it was back in 1979, 1980, then I'll give them a 50-cent tip. Sure.
Virgin Galactic has safely completed its first commercial space flight. They have so far sold 800 tickets for future flights, and I think they're charging it's about $450,000 to go up on this thing. Yeah, that's not cheap. They take you up like 289,000 feet, however many miles that is above the earth. It's not necessarily leaving the Earth's atmosphere. It's kind of on that, it's in the atmosphere. They say they're taking you into space, but are they really like the space shuttle into space type of a thing? I don't think so. But it's up there. It's up there close, and that's all you need, $450,000, and you too can fly on Virgin Galactic and spend a few hours way above the clouds. You heard Pat Sajak is retiring, right? Did you hear who his replacement is? Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, Ryan Seacrest.
Surprise. It only took 2 weeks for Wheel of Fortune to find his replacement.
It's 55 miles.
Okay,
up.
wow.
55 miles, because a mile is 5,280 feet. And I just divided it. It's rough math. It's about 5 miles. Or 54
52.9. Okay, yeah, you're right on. That's what they said. So
okay.
High altitude, 50 miles is considered the border of space by NASA. Internationally, the border is known as the Karma line, which is 62 miles high. So they don't cross the Kármán, K-A-R-M-A-N. The Kármán line is 62 miles high. But NASA says only 52. Whatever. All right. So, so Ryan Seacrest, he left the Kelly show after being on that for 6 years. Now he's going to be the host of Wheel of Fortune, making a pretty penny. Vanna White apparently isn't leaving yet. She's renegotiating.
Yeah, she
was considered to be the host there for a hot minute, and they when you can get Ryan Seacrest, he's probably going to be a pretty excellent Wheel of Fortune host, more than likely. And now he only has to work 2 days a week doing that, and he can keep doing his radio gig. Not too many guys I'm jealous of, Tom, but his career arc, I'm a little bit jealous of what he's been able to do with his career. It's been really cool.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, Ryan Seacrest is so likable. How could you not like Ryan Seacrest?
Take it or leave it when it comes to American Idol. That's fine. His radio career, and then what he's been able to do off of the success of American Idol, it's really something pretty special.
They said he has replaced Regis Philbin, Casey Kasem, and now Pat Sajak. And there was one other that he replaced as well, and I don't remember who that was.
I don't know either. But even just those big three names.
Yeah.
This has been kind of a rough week for a lot of media companies. If you've been keeping track, ESPN let about 20 on-air people go, including Susie Colbert and Jalen Rose. 20.
Wow.
That's what I understand.
Oh my goodness.
I think she posted on Twitter that she had been let go as part of the cuts at ESPN, which is not surprising if you've been following what they spent tons of money to get live sports on ESPN, and that's what kept them alive over this last decade or so. And now that they're losing some of this live sports coverage, they're not going to be able to bring in the ad revenue they were used to be able to bring in, and they can't afford all these talking.
Are they losing the NFL then? Because that's what Susie did. She was the NFL.
Because Thursday Night Football is on Amazon, and YouTube is getting a bunch of stuff now that used to be on DirecTV.
That's what it is. That's what
so
it is.
That happened, and then National Geographic looks to be pretty much shutting down. They cut 17 editorial roles, all of the magazine's staff writers, the entire podcast staff. It's an end of an era for a 135-year-old publication, the National Geographic. How many of us, at least at one time, had a stack of National Geographic magazines in their house? You know, we use those for school projects all the time.
And the big joke is nude pygmies.
The nude.
It was kind of like you needed to throw them away. I mean, other magazines you could recycle or throw away, but those were like
historical.
I only read them for the articles.
Very historical stuff, and I still have an encyclopedia in the house that I inherited from my grandmother, and yearbook and world book encyclopedia stuff, which, you know.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, The Bridges of Madison County, Clint Eastwood, Meryl Streep, great movie. I think that was loosely based
on photographer
on, was it
for National Geographic.
Was it for National Geographic? Yeah, and I think that was a true story, loosely based.
Yeah,
I think. But anyway, but it was National
the Queen of
Geographic,
Kindness,
so.
Queen of Kindness, Cindy, wishing me a happy birthday. Appreciate you, Cindy. Thank you for that. Okay, I'm not. She is.
The Queen of Kindness,
I don't know what my aunt is talking about here, but if you wake up at 7 and all of a sudden it's 8, were you abducted by aliens?
No, she fell back to sleep.
Or you went in, went in Doc Brown's time machine. You came back at 8 instead of 7.
That's a good thought. A few more quick things here. Congrats to New York Yankees pitcher Domingo Germain threw a perfect game this week. 27 up and 27 down. Perfect game.
Yep. Only the 24th perfect game in all of Major League Baseball history.
He wears number 0. That was kind of cool. There's a new condiment that will be available in 4 Major League ballparks on Tuesday. It's called Cola Chup, and it's made by Pepsi. It's a Pepsi-infused ketchup. I don't know what I feel. I love ketchup. I'm a ketchup guy for sure. And if I had to choose a soda drink, if I don't drink soda pop hardly ever at all. If I had to choose though, I would choose Pepsi over Coca-Cola. It's a sweeter drink, and I like the sweeter things. But Pepsi infused ketchup,
I drink about 5 sodas a year, literally. I do not drink pop, but my kind of guilty little pleasure, had one the other day because we were at Goodwill, and Goodwill sells the cooler stuff. They sell Dr. Pepper, Sunkist, all that stuff. Cherry 7-Up. I love Cherry 7-Up. If and then my other one would probably be Dr. Pepper. But I'm definitely Coke over Pepsi all day long. All day long. Well, like I said, maybe 10 pops a year.
Barbecue sauce
maybe
with
1 a month.
Cola in it.
Yeah, pepper I think is often put into barbecue sauce when it's being made.
I think so. I think you're right.
All right. Anyway, I think that's enough shout out. This show is blown right by. It's already 8:52. Without a guest, we should go on tangents, and that was fun.
And we didn't even look at the animals.
We didn't even look at the animals yet. We got time to do that if you want to take a quick tour.
I was going to say at least we need to look at the June statistics.
Okay.
Absolutely. I got room in my house for at least 2, maybe 3 cats, So hey, I'm just saying. I've been saying that for years, but I can't ever get
Paws
it past
Humane
the boss.
Society.
That's
Adopt, volunteer, foster, donate, all at Paws Humane Society of Rockford. And if I switch to this screen here and I grab this over here, look at how that works.
Walk with my vertigo. I decided I wasn't going to let vertigo control my life.
Amen to that.
Here's our list for June. Today being the 1st of July.
Wow.
And Greg's birthday.
There's your final tally for June. All those cats and about 10 or so dogs.
5, 6, 7, 8 dogs.
Nice.
And last month it was 8 too, so that must be our limit. Or our goal.
Cheers for helping to make that happen.
Just see real quick some of our babies.
No, Penny. They can't just here. What one? No, she jumped way up.
Oh, she thought you were feeding it. This is like my favorite cat. Yeah.
Yeah. She jumped way up. Go up here.
Of course, our lovely volunteers who make Paws work.
Look at that crew.
They're a Saturday crew. And this is Kitten Alley.
Oh.
There's
You know, my goal in life is to go lay in the middle room, the big giant room, the community room with about 10 cats. Let them come and lay on me.
How dare you take a shot of me in the litter box?
Chill with Tom.
A cute little calico.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Most
adorable.
I don't know when they give them names that I can't say. Riley, Arabella. Oh, Arabella and Riley are a bonded pair, they say. You know, they tell you anyhow that you should get 2 kittens, double the fun, double the. They say not 2 litter mates with dogs. That's a problem. But kittens are good to take as a pair. You just think double the fun, double the pleasure.
Well, here's one.
No, if you can see that. Oh, there's a couple. There's one up here too. But these are bonded pair, but I can't see who he's bonded. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's your pair, Tom.
Oh, wow. Wow. They look just like my cat Barney. Who's
Ansel and Ellery.
Oh, wow.
Ellery. Cute.
Hansel and Gretel. I don't know.
Ellery.
Ansel.
Ansel Adams and Ellery Queen.
There's your pair. Then you could put a third one in just for fun.
Oh, sure. Why not?
These two are starting to fight.
My
but
daughter,
yeah, if you're looking for a kitten, we've got plenty of them.
Is that the one that signed?
There we go.
And this is the room Tom's going to live in.
That's right.
Get him a hammock in the corner.
I'm good.
Ready to roll.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
you just need a fun for them. Or you could live in this room. There's only, I think there's 3 in this room, but I can't see the third one. And I just, some more kittens for, no, Tom already picked out his 2 black ones.
Yeah.
Well, so that's kind of a quick tour of Paws. I got a new puppy, foster puppy. I will bring that later. He hasn't had many shots yet, so I don't really want to bring him out in public. But if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you probably have seen him.
Well, there's your check around Paws this week. If you have any questions, give them a call, 815-299-PAWS, 815-299-7297, or visit that awesome website, pawshs.org. It's big number of the week time, friends. I'm sorry, I cut you off, Joanne. You were going to say something.
Oh, I just said check our Facebook postings.
That's right.
I'm sorry.
Lots of Facebook postings. All right. So our big number of the week this week, current race to 10 is 1-1. Who's going to score? 1.2.
You're not going out for breakfast this morning?
We got to go out for breakfast soon. We need to do that soon.
Well, let's do it today.
1.2.
No, we can't today. I gotta fix my light.
He says Tom is always.
Let's do it today, except I can't do it today. That's all right. That's all right. We'll
He
figure-
already ate. Tom, your
1 billion is the big number of the week this week, and the answer is diet or drinking. Diet or drinking. Tom already sent me his answer via text from earlier, and where did it go? There we go. Okay, so Joanne, give me your answer. Diet or drinking? 3, 2, 1, go.
drinking.
You're going to go with drinking. So one of you gets a point and one of you doesn't. In the last year, cottage cheese sales have risen 15.9%. Have you heard about the surge in popularity of cottage cheese? It's been huge.
I have not.
And I've kind of, I heard a little bit here and there that it's been a thing.
Cottage cheese has potassium in it, so it's good for your
Potassium
health.
and protein.
Yes.
I have cottage cheese on my leg. Does that count? No, I'm
Analysts
kidding.
are
Just
saying
kidding.
because adults want more protein in their diet, they're eating more cottage cheese. Sales have risen 15.9% to $1.2 billion. So Tom
Does
gets a
that
point
count?
this week.
Does that count with cheese
Yeah,
curds?
baby.
I don't know, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
As far as drinking goes, you might enjoy drinking beer, but how about wearing beer? London-based Arda Biomaterials is looking to turn breweries' barley grain waste into a leather alternative used in fashion and home goods. Arda just got $1.42 million in an investment round to turn barley grain waste into a leather alternative. I'm curious to see how long that lasts. Obviously, leather lasts a really long time. Leather's leather.
Mhm.
But does leather alternative a leather? Well, how long will that last? A couple years? A decade? I'm very curious to see how.
Well, there's no sample size on it. You don't know how it's going to
Right.
break down over 2 or 3
Right.
years. You know,
Anyway.
so hope it's not too expensive.
So there you go. There you go. It's 2-1 now. Tom with a big lead. Haha.
A little.
My big lead. I've doubled your score, Joanne.
Thanks to everybody for all the birthday wishes that I'm getting through Facebook and text messages this morning. Appreciate that very, very much.
Big plans for
Honestly,
today, buddy?
No, I really haven't planned much of anything at all this weekend. We were going to go. Oh, I wanted to give a quick shout out to the Rivets. Our buddy Steve. Steve is one of the co-owners there of the Rockford Rivets. We were going to go to the game this week, but they canceled it because of the smoke.
Oh,
So we're gonna go this
Oh,
coming week for
wow.
one of the games this week instead, which is perfectly fine. But the Rivets they're doing a wonderful job of promoting the team. They're doing a lot of good social media stuff, and the team is actually, I think, in second place. They're competing in their league, which is always makes things even a little bit more enjoyable to go to the game and see a good team.
Oz has adoptable dogs at a Rivets game August 5th.
August 5th, Pause will be at the Rivets game. So.
Cool.
Yeah, get out and see the Rockford Rivets this season. See what they're doing. It's not just about the game. They got great concessions. They actually, one of the things Steve is really proud of, and this might sound a little goofy, but if you know, you know, they've totally cleaned up their bathrooms. And when you go to a game, you want a good, decent bathroom to use when you need one. And they have some of the best bathrooms in town now. They didn't before. Okay, they do now.
They needed to clean
Big
them
deal.
up.
Ask the
Okay.
Chicago Cubs. It's a big deal.
Oh yeah, the troughs.
Yes, all their things there
That's
are
just
wonderful, so.
disgusting.
Anyway, remember, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week. We'll try to do the same. Meet you back here for another Saturday morning Stateline Show. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Tom.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, y'all.
Have a great 4th. Be safe, everybody.